You know, obviously the business environment is key on everyone's mind right now. And Jonathan, if you had to have a frank conversation right now about the state of Providence, how you're doing, what would you say? Completely candid. How's the business?
Oh, there's no better place to have a candid conversation than with 300 people listening.
Well, you know what Connie Chung used to say in some of her, one of her most famous lines on air was, just between the two of us. Which I always, so a similar thing.
Well, I was actually encouraged by the title, which I just noticed coming in, Wise Financiers.
Yes.
Bit of an oxymoron right now, and followed by Smart Money. So you got two in a row.
Right.
I'd say looking at our portfolio today, which my guess is not much different from other firms that are similarly structured, it's feast or famine. Some of our portfolio companies are knocking the cover off the ball. They're doing so well. If you just saw their numbers and you didn't see the name of the company and even a business description, but the numbers, including top line, revenue growth, you would never guess that that's coincident with the worst recession in 60 years. The worst financial crisis in our lifetime. They're doing really well. Then there are other businesses that, candidly, so you'll like this, have been hurt badly by the economic environment. Obviously, if there's, with the exception of Hulu and a few other companies, advertising-based models have been crushed over the last 2 years. But subscription models, just to be simple about it, have actually, their growth has continued undisturbed by the events that we read about and experience every day. So
right.
it's been a very mixed bag. My guess is that what will determine success among investors is, do you have winners?
Right, right. Dave, I want to ask you the same thing, and also ask you a little bit about assets under management and the amount of capital that you have to put to work. Talk about that in that context a little bit.
Well, the shorthand in the industry is assets under management. How much dough are you managing? But I think going forward, there's about to be a culling of the herd where, as Jonathan pointed out, there are going to be two major criteria for success going forward. People right now who've got winners in their portfolio and are going to be able to monetize those winners in kind of the next upcycle, they have a chance. And the second group of people who have an opportunity are folks who've got not just money under management, but dry powder, and actually new money to invest through this upcycle, because it's very difficult to raise new money right now. Look, our situation is that we were very, very cautious in the 06, 07 time frame, took down the amount that we were investing, and we've got about $9 billion to invest right now. So we're, I would say we're at a point in the cycle where we feel like we're being paid to take risk. Where for the last couple of years, it's been a difficult environment to put new money to work because it's been so difficult to evaluate the quality of what you're investing in.
$9 billion is a hell of a lot of money, and of course you can leverage that.
Sure.
But I think you were telling me the other day that you did not see a whole lot of opportunities out there right now, excuse me, and I thought that was a little counterintuitive because you think that there might be all kinds of fire sales.
Well, to be clear, I think there's a lot of opportunity. What there are, what you find are many reluctant sellers. In other words, people all are willing to chat, so it's easy to window shop. People are willing to talk, but everyone would like their valuation from July of 07. Right? So they say, it's a fantastic idea, I see all the benefits, but I really am too, I know my numbers are terrible.
Right.
Last year and the year before, and by the way, they're going to be terrible this year, and next year looks lousy too. Right?
Yeah.
So trailing looks bad, forward looks bad, it's all bad. But
back then, in the day.
Back then it was great, and that's what I think we should do.
Right, and maybe a 10% haircut, but that I'm firm there. I mean, do you see that starting to change at all? I mean, do people wake
Sure.
up?
Yeah, the term of art in the industry is that the valuations have begun to season. And that, you know, like a fine wine,
Yes.
aging to the point where people are kind of becoming accepting of, that's one thing. The second thing that's happened is that some people are running out of money. And, you know, you need capital to run these businesses, and particularly in the technology space, and I think it's very true in Jonathan's world as well, many of the businesses that we invest in are like sharks. You know, they need to keep moving and growing in order to really build value. And so they can't just sit still. As such, they need capital for not just working capital expansion, but new capital for building out infrastructure, and also capital to do M&A and kind of participate in big industry consolidation. And to do that,
Right.
you know, if you're not going to get it from the bank and the public market's not giving it to you, then it's a great opportunity for private capital.
Jonathan, I think that, you know, I was thinking about what you're doing and the companies you're investing in, and I thought, you know, that must be awfully tough, never mind the current environment, when you're dealing with media properties, because you've got, you know, trophy buyers and sellers that you're competing with, and then you've got talent. I think I was reading somewhere when the MGM deal, you had a meeting with Tom Cruise when you were looking at that business. I'm not sure if that's accurate. It was in a newspaper, after all, so you never know. No, I shouldn't say that. But does that make it so much more difficult?
Before anyone gets carried away with the thought of Tom Cruise meeting with me.
Did you have a meeting with him?
Yes.
Okay.
But the point of the meeting was not to interfere, not to read a script. He said, here's a script. And I said, we don't do that. We invest in people who know what they're doing.